Hello, everyone. Before we begin, let me ask you one question. Have you ever felt stuck in life? Doing the same job every day, feeling tired, feeling bored, wanting something better, but not knowing where to start? Today's story is about a young man named Alex. He had an ordinary life, an ordinary job, an ordinary salary, but inside his heart, he wanted change. One day, he discovered coding. At first, he knew nothing. He made many mistakes. He failed many times. He wanted to quit, but step by step, line by line, he built a new future. This is a story about learning, about patience, about changing your life with skill. So stay until the end. Now, relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the story. His name was Alex. He was 26 years old. He lived in a small city and worked in an office downtown. Every morning, his alarm rang at 7 o'clock. He got dressed quickly, ate a simple breakfast, and rushed to work. Then every day looked the same. Open computer, check emails, attend meetings, write reports, look busy, go home tired. Repeat tomorrow. His salary paid the bills, but nothing more. His life was stable, but it did not feel exciting. Sometimes Alex looked around the office and saw people doing the same work for 10 or 20 years. That thought scared him. He did not hate his job, but he hated the feeling that nothing was changing. At lunch, he often sat alone and watched people outside the window. Some looked happy, some looked confident, some looked full of purpose. Alex wondered, when will my real life begin? One evening after work, Alex was lying on his bed, scrolling through videos online. He almost closed his laptop when one title caught his attention: How I Learned Coding and Changed My Life. He clicked it. A young man appeared on screen. The man said he used to work a boring job. Then he learned programming at night. Now he built websites for companies and worked from home. Alex watched carefully. The man opened his screen and typed lines of code. A few moments later, a beautiful website appeared. Buttons, colors, images, animation. Alex sat up straight. He was surprised. All of that came from words on a screen? The man smiled and said, "If I can learn this, you can too." Those words stayed in Alex's mind. For the first time in many months, he felt excited about something. The next night, Alex opened his old laptop and searched online. Best coding course for beginners. Thousands of results appeared. He felt confused immediately. HTML, additive CSS, JavaScript, Python, React, backend, frontend, database. It looked like another language. He almost gave up before starting. But then he remembered something simple. Every expert was once a beginner. So he chose the easiest first step, HTML basics. He watched a free lesson online. The teacher said, HTML builds the structure of a web page. Alex typed his first code slowly. Is less than. H1 is greater than. Hello, world, is less than. H1 is greater than. He opened the browser. The words appeared on screen. Hello, world. Small result. Big feeling. He smiled like a child. Maybe this was possible after all. Alex created a new routine. Work in the daytime. Study coding at night. Every evening after dinner, he sat at his desk for 2 or 3 hours. Sometimes more. He learned HTML first, then CSS, then simple JavaScript. But learning was not easy. Many times, The page looked broken. Text was in the wrong place. Colors did not change. Buttons did nothing. Sometimes one missing symbol caused everything to fail. Alex became frustrated often. He wanted fast results. Instead, he got slow progress. One night, after 2 hours of debugging, he found the problem, a missing semicolon. He laughed loudly. Then he learned an important lesson. In coding, small details matter. Mistakes were not enemies. They were teachers. After 3 months of learning, Alex wanted to build something real, not just practice lessons. So he decided to make a website for his uncle's small coffee shop. The old website looked outdated, slow, messy, hard to use on phones. Alex said, "Let me try to make a new one." His uncle agreed kindly. Alex worked every night for weeks. He designed a clean homepage, added menu items, store hours, photos, contact information, a map. When he finished, he showed it proudly. His uncle opened it on a phone and smiled widely. "This looks professional." Alex felt proud in a new way. This was not homework. This was useful. Something he built could help a real business. That night, he looked in the mirror and said, "Maybe I am becoming a developer." After finishing the coffee shop website, Alex felt more confident. He now had one real project. He had studied for months. He believed he was ready to apply for junior developer jobs. So he updated his resume. He added new skills: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, responsive design, basic Git. Then he started sending applications. One company replied quickly. They invited him for an interview. Alex was excited and nervous. He prepared every night. He practiced common questions. He reviewed coding basics. He even bought a new shirt. On interview day, he arrived early. The office looked modern and professional. Young people worked on laptops. Screens showed code everywhere. Alex wanted to belong there. The interviewer smiled politely. At first, the conversation was easy. Then came technical questions. What is the difference between let and var? How does the DOM work? What happens in asynchronous JavaScript? Alex froze. He knew some answers, but not enough. His words became slow. His confidence disappeared. A small coding test came next. His hands shook while typing. He made mistakes he normally would not make. When he left the building, he already knew the result. 3 days later, the email arrived. We chose another candidate. Alex stared at the screen silently. It hurt more than he expected. That night, Alex sat alone in his room. The rejection email was still open. He read it again, then again. He asked himself difficult questions. Am I too late? Am I smart enough? Can I really become a developer? His old office life suddenly felt safer, predictable, simple. No rejection there, no embarrassment there, only routine. For 2 days, Alex did not study. He came home from work and watched videos instead. He felt empty again. Then, on the 3rd night, he opened the coffee shop website he had built for his uncle. It was still live, still working. Real customers still used it. He smiled slightly. That reminded him of something important. One interview did not erase all progress. One rejection did not define his future. He opened his notebook and wrote one sentence: "I am not finished learning." Then he started again. This time, Alex became smarter. He did not only apply for jobs, he improved his skills first. He created a portfolio website, to show his projects professionally. Clean design, short introduction, links to his work, contact page. Then he built more projects. A weather app, a task manager, a movie search app, a restaurant landing page. Each project taught him something new. API calls, local storage, better layouts, debugging complex problems. He also learned GitHub and uploaded his code online. Every night after work, he kept building. Sometimes he was tired. Sometimes progress was slow. But month by month, his confidence grew again. Now when he looked at his screen, he no longer saw confusion. He saw tools. He saw solutions. He saw growth. One afternoon, Alex received a message online. A small business owner wrote, "Hi, I saw your portfolio. Can you build a website for my bakery?" Alex read the message twice. A real stranger wanted to hire him. He replied carefully and professionally. They discussed pages, design, timeline, and price. Alex was nervous to mention payment, but he did it. The client agreed. It was not a huge amount of money, but it was his first freelance client. Alex worked harder than ever. He communicated clearly. He delivered on time. He fixed changes quickly. When the project finished, the bakery owner wrote, "This is exactly what I wanted. Thank you." Then she sent payment. Alex looked at the money in disbelief. Someone had paid him for coding. Years ago, code looked impossible. Now it created income. That night, he smiled all the way home. 6 months after his first failed interview, Alex applied again. But now he was different. More skilled, more experienced, more calm. Another company invited him in. This interview felt better immediately. They asked about projects. Alex showed his portfolio proudly. They asked about teamwork. He spoke clearly. They asked technical questions. This time, he answered with confidence. Even when he did not know everything, he explained how he would solve problems. Then came the coding task. Alex stayed calm. Step by step, he completed it. 2 days later, his phone rang. "Hi, Alex," the recruiter said. "We would like to offer you the junior front-end developer position." For a moment, Alex could not speak. He thanked them many times. Then he ended the call and sat quietly in his chair. He remembered the office window, the boring days, the fear, the rejection, the long nights of study. All of it had led here. He looked at himself in the mirror and smiled proudly. "I am a developer." Alex woke up early. On his first day at the new company, he could not sleep much the night before. He felt excited, but he also felt nervous. Today was different. He was no longer dreaming about becoming a developer. Today, he was one. He wore clean clothes, checked his bag twice, and left home early. When he arrived at the office, the building looked brighter than before. Everything felt new. The front desk, the open workspace, the sound of keyboards clicking, people talking about projects, screens full of code. A manager welcomed him kindly. "Good morning, Alex. We are happy you joined us." Those words touched him deeply. Joined us. He belonged there now. He received a laptop, a company email, and access to internal tools. Then he sat at his desk, his own desk. As a developer, he touched the keyboard slowly and smiled to himself. This moment once felt impossible. Now it was real. After the excitement of the first day, new feelings appeared. Fear, doubt. The other developers seemed fast and smart. They used words Alex barely understood. Architecture, deployment, optimization, code review. They solved bugs quickly. They discussed systems confidently. Alex felt small again. At meetings, he stayed quiet. He worried about asking simple questions. At lunch, he wondered if the company made a mistake. Maybe they hired the wrong person. Maybe soon they would discover he was not good enough. That night, he returned home worried. But then he remembered how many times he felt this before. When he first saw code, when he failed interviews, when he built his first project. Growth always began with discomfort. So he told himself, I do not need to know everything today. I only need to keep learning. Weeks passed. Alex slowly became more comfortable. He asked more questions. He listened carefully. He took notes. He learned how teams build software together. Before, he coded alone at night. Now he learned teamwork mattered as much as skill. Clear communication, sharing ideas, accepting feedback, helping others. One day, a senior developer reviewed Alex's code. Many comments appeared. Improve naming, simplify logic, better structure. At first, Alex felt embarrassed, but the senior smiled and said, This is normal. We all improve together. That sentence changed his mindset. Feedback was not rejection. It was guidance. From then on, Alex welcomed learning. Month by month, his code became cleaner. His confidence became stronger. And one day, he helped a new intern fix a bug. He smiled quietly. Now he was helping others too. With his new salary, Alex's life slowly improved. He paid off old debts. He bought a better chair for studying. He saved money each month. Then, he did something special. He visited his parents. They had always supported him, even when they did not fully understand coding. Their house was old. Some things needed repair. The kitchen was worn. The roof leaked during heavy rain. Alex used his savings to help fix the home. His mother looked around in surprise. You did this? She asked. Alex smiled. We did this. His father said little, but his eyes were proud. That evening, they ate dinner together quietly. Simple food, warm smiles. For Alex, that moment felt bigger than any job title. Success was not only personal, it could lift the people you love. One late evening, months after joining the company, Alex stayed after work for a moment. The office was mostly empty. Lights were soft. The city outside was dark. He looked around the room quietly. This place once seemed far away, a world for other people, smarter people, luckier people. But now he knew the truth. Most success is built slowly, with patience, with mistakes, with repeated effort. He opened his laptop and saw lines of code on the screen. Years ago, those symbols looked impossible. Now they were part of his daily life. He remembered the boring office job, the tired evenings, the first tutorial, the failed interview, the lonely nights of practice, the first client, the job offer. Every hard moment had become a step forward. He stood up, looked at his reflection in the dark window, and said clearly, I am a developer. Not because a company hired him, not because of salary, not because of title, but because he learned, kept going, and became the person he once wanted to be. He smiled proudly. Then he closed the laptop and walked into his new future. This was Alex's story. A man with an ordinary life and an extraordinary decision. He chose to learn. When life felt comfortable, he chose to continue. When failure felt painful, he chose discipline. When excuses were easy, and step by step, his small daily effort became a new life. Maybe right now, you feel behind. Maybe you feel too late. Maybe you feel afraid to start. But remember this, Every expert was once a beginner. Every success was once uncertain. Every strong future begins with one small action today. So start now. Learn slowly. Fail bravely. Keep moving. One day, you may look back and smile because the life you wanted was built by the person you became. Thank you for listening. Keep practicing English. Keep chasing your goals. And I will see you in the next story.